Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Audion.
Jared Brandon.
Are you getting up to bat or something? What is that? Hey, everybody, it's me, Todd. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We are thrilled to death that you are with us for this exciting voyage of the Guitar Knobs podcast. And
Jared Brandon.
Yes.
Batting third.
Yeah.
Jared Brandon.
I'm sorry. All right, go on, Todd.
Yeah, thanks. We've got a very special guest, one that has been brought up quite a few times, actually, on the show, and I'm excited about this. Guest, who are you?
My name's Connor Kelly, and I run High Spirit Guitars in San Diego.
Right on. High Spirit Guitars. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, High Spirit Guitars, what? I've not heard of this. Where can one go to find out more?
Well, I have a dealer in Massachusetts, the Music Emporium, and they sell a lot of my instruments. And then
How about somebody who's listening and can get to it really quickly digitally?
what do you mean?
Like, what's your Instagram and stuff?
Oh, yeah. You can go to High Spirit Guitars on Instagram. I have an Instagram there and Facebook.
Okay.
And then also my website, highspiritguitars.com.
Awesome. And you can check out all the cool things that he's making, and they are very cool. I think
Yes.
just a little teaser here. I think one of the thing that we are, and probably a lot of other people are kind of hyped up about this, is that you've got some really great nuances in your designs that aren't so radical that it feels unfamiliar. But
You might call them old-onces.
old-onces, but it's something that makes it go like, ooh, just that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my goal making these things.
Yeah.
It was make people go, ooh.
Kind of like Esqueleto in in Nacho Libre.
Okay.
Ooh. Ooh. Anyways, okay, we're gonna get on with this. For maybe we've got a couple new listeners. Maybe there's a chance for that.
You think?
Jared, what do we do on the show?
We talk about gear, mostly about guitars, and even more mostly pedals. And sometimes we have these awesome episodes that I really enjoy called the 101s, and we get to learn about awesome stuff.
And we've got a good one coming up. Teaser.
Oh, yes.
Oh boy.
Yep. We just.
I think it's going to be with one of our good buddies, huh?
It might be. It's going to be. I know for sure it is going to be.
Is his name Rick?
No. But anyways, that's a bad clue. Don't listen to that clue. So, hey, we've got a couple of announcements that we're going to get through real quick, and then we're going to start digging into what's going on with Connor Kelly and High Spirit Guitars.
Will we talk about things that are going on in our music world this week?
We will be. We're going to do a 4 on the floor.
A 4 on the floor?
Yeah. Which we should probably explain right now. Again, we've gotten a lot of new listeners lately.
Oh.
And the 4 on the floor is, what's the 4 on the floor, Tony?
Well, in my book, the 4 on the floor are the 4 must-have pedals on your pedal board. You can only have 4, so you choose wisely. And that's, it's up in the air. You choose the type that you like, the brand.
You're really running on with this, aren't you?
And you need to tell us why you bought it, when you bought it, what it does for you.
Yeah. All that stuff.
We're
going to get to that.
The details.
As soon as Tony's done. All right.
Furthermore, and in conclusion.
I wanted to share a couple fantastic notes that I got since our last episode. This first one is from Bruce Bacon.
Bruce Bacon!
Who is responsible for the 101 idea. We're really excited about this, and it'll be coming up soon. But he also said, guys, thank you for putting your blood, sweat, and tears into the podcast.
Mostly tears.
Right now, I am going through a difficult time at work, and the podcast is one of those positive things I look forward to each week. All right. On the count of 3, just silently or not silently. We won't do it silently. You can do it silently or loud if you want. I'm giving you all the options.
Wow.
On the count of 3. Everybody, send Brucey some good vibes. 1, 2, 3. Hey, Brucey, feel better, baby. Yeah. All right.
Hey, Bruce.
Okay, and then here's another one. This one was a big one. This was one, occasionally I run upstairs and say to my wife, I'm like, hey, wife, look at this.
Me, Thor.
Yeah.
You, wife.
This is from Rick Lender, maybe.
How's it spelled?
Leander.
I would say
Probably
Leander.
Leander.
He is the one who won. He's the one who won the Spark Amp contest.
Sparky.
Yes. He sent a message to us, and I was really kind of moved by this. Says, hi. That's a great way to start. I still can't believe I won. Thanks for running the contest. The amp is still on its way and should be here around the end of the week. Well, by this time, he would have gotten it.
Yeah, he's got it in his hands.
Which is very exciting.
I hope.
I'm probably not your typical listener, but I really enjoy the amp. I'm an old blind guy living in a retirement home. I play a poor version of Chet Atkins fingerstyle on an Ibanez Classical with a piezo pickup or on a Fender Mexican Strat.
Yeah.
I've also been trying to learn lap steel, and this amp should help me get much better sound. He's an old guy, and he's still trying to learn new tricks. I love that.
You never stop learning.
I really enjoy your show. I was heavy into electronics back in the 60s and 70s and even built my own trem pedal. I'd love to get back into it, but found that blind people shouldn't play with soldering irons.
Probably good.
Ouch.
I
said
support,
it, not me.
I support
Okay?
that position
Yes.
wholeheartedly.
Yes. I thought that was very funny. Even so, I enjoy listening to the pedal builders talk about their circuit designs, and your show about amp repair brought back fond memories of my high school electronics shop. Thanks again. I can't wait to try out the amp. We'll let you know how it goes. Rick, thank you so much for sending that. We hope you love that amp, and I hope that you have a great time learning lap steel. That's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good stuff.
Yeah. We got good people out there. And if you're listening, I bet you're one of them, and we would love to hear from you. So share your stories with us. Send us your whatnots and whatevers. And we need some stinking would you rathers, for Pete's sake. We got a good one this week, but come on, keep them coming, people.
That's right.
Please.
Do it.
All right, we're going to find out what's going on in our music worlds this week, starting with Tanya Bolonsky to my right here. Then we're going to check in with our friend Connor.
Well, Todd, since
Thank you, Tony. Connor, what's going on in
Fine. Fine.
ahead.
I don't have to do this,
I want to hear about stuff, Tony.
Okay.
Come on.
For you, Jared, not for Todd.
Thank
for you. And Connor too.
Yeah.
I'm ignoring Todd right now.
Okay.
So this has been a busy week. A couple of cool things happened. I was trying out a couple of pedals and realized that a couple of my patch cables were not good anymore. In fact, one of them cut so much high end off of things that I threw it against the wall.
Oh, my.
Yes. So what do you think that I did? This is on a
thing that was hanging on the wall?
This is on a Saturday. What did I do?
On a Sunday?
No, on Saturday.
You went to the thing and you got another cord and stuff.
No, I did one thing better. I got these Tour Gear Design cables because we talk about them quite frequently.
Yes.
I ordered them on Saturday. I think on either Tuesday or Wednesday, there was a box on my doorstep.
Wow.
And I got a couple of different sizes because I wanted to monkey around with things. And when I'm testing stuff, I like to do that. So that was a real cool thing. Secondly, I was up in Youngstown this past weekend, and I picked up bodies and necks that my buddy Pat finished for me from Coop Guitars. He's doing good. And these are the guitar project. Just as as a reminder, we talked about them a couple of months back, and these are the Fender Maverick / custom replicas. I'm building one for myself, and one for a guy who was in a band called Car Sickness back in the early '80s. And he was the only guy that I knew that actually had one of these. And they were essentially electric 12 bodies that were chopped up, and they did all kinds of crazy things with them. So he did all. He's an artist in Western Mass now, and he did all of the body artwork. And then I had Pat shoot clear over it to protect the artwork that was on it. And they came out. I mean, they're just super cool. And
Will there be pictures?
Yes, in fact, they should be posting very soon. I'm finishing up assembly probably tomorrow or Saturday, and I should have them ready to go. But it's really cool. And Carl, who is the guy from Car Sickness and the artist, he had all these things. He said they're like cave paintings, and there's hidden messages and all these, and it's really fun stuff. And he was super excited about it, and so he's I've been keeping him in the loop and sending him photos. So hopefully that project will be finished up here end of this week, first of next, and we'll be moving on to some other cool stuff.
Thanks, Tony.
You're welcome,
Connor,
Todd.
how about yourself?
I'm really into country swing right now.
Okay.
So, yeah. I actually got.
I like
funny.
country swing. Country swing's great, man.
Yeah, I got really into it because I looked up T.K. Smith's
Oh yeah,
Cool guy.
his albums he was on, and then I just got really sucked into it because the guitar playing and the pedal steel is just rad. And also, I'm really into swing dancing, so of course I can't really do that right now, but
because the wooden leg.
No, because the pandemic, they don't have any like social, they don't have any social dances or anything right now. So it was
Where
kind
are
of
you
cool.
located?
San Diego.
Oh, that's right, in California. Yeah.
So are you more a Bakersfield country swing style, or are you more kind of a Texas-y country swing style?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure actually. I like stuff that's more like classic Hank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of it, really. Any old country, I enjoy for the most part.
Funny, I started listening to a little bit of Waylon Jennings.
Oh yeah.
So, I've been back and forth from Ohio to Nashville, so it's like, well, everybody likes Waylon Jennings in Nashville. May as well see what it's about.
Right.
You were talking about the sort of the country swing. Have you heard of Joel Patterson?
I have. I'm trying to remember.
We actually gave one of his albums away on the show. He did a Christmas album that I literally listened to all year long.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
And he also did a Beatles album.
And he did a Beatles covers, and it's all in that sort of finger picking,
Chet
hollow body
style.
Chet style.
Right. Yeah.
He plays all the instruments. There's like 7 different kinds of guitars on this thing. It's just so good.
Yeah, I've seen him live a couple of times. He plays like an ES-295.
Yeah,
And he just makes that thing.
it's flawless.
Yeah.
It's such a pleasure to listen to that guy. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, definitely check out Joel Patterson, everybody. Let's see, Jared, about yourself.
I've been looking on Carter Vintage website at guitars just for the fun of it. And
You can just go down there. You live right there.
that's why I've been looking on their website to go down and check out anything that I find interesting. So, listening to a lot of Gordon Lightfoot lately, and he plays 12-string guitar. He has a lot of 12-string guitar.
Sundown, you better take
That's a good
it.
song. But the
here we go.
legend,
You've already done
the
that.
legend lives on from the
that's
Chippewa down to the big lake they
boring.
call Get You
It's such a
Goomy.
boring song that is. Anyways, go ahead, Jared.
I don't really listen to those songs. I like a lot of the stuff that people don't even talk about that I enjoy, that he plays on 12-string. Anyway, so I've been looking for a 12-string guitar.
Ah,
I don't have one, and I have everything else in the universe. So I thought I should have a 12-string guitar. And I was
Ooh.
can I make a
Looking for-
recommendation?
sure.
If you don't want to spend a lot of money,
Too late.
Oh, you already did.
Uh-oh.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, for those listeners out there that don't want to spend a lot of money on a good quality 12-string guitar,
Yes.
acoustic,
Yes.
the Guild, what do they call it? It's an import series. They're made in China, I believe, but it's their basically their jumbo style in a 12-string.
Oh.
And I've
That
seen them.
must sound awesome.
Oh, they sound incredible. Yeah, I've got one.
I do like a jumbo.
I've got one, and I mean, one of the problems you'll have with 12 strings, especially acoustic 12 strings, is at some point they're going to need a neck reset.
Yeah.
So if you can find one and you just want to pluck around
And
on
it
it a
gets
little
bridge
bit,
lift, don't it?
well, the bridge bellies up and the neck starts to cave in. It's all about the string tension. But
I know a guy.
this, yeah, you can do that. But you can buy these guitars for anywhere from $350 to $400, and they're a good quality instrument. I mean, the Guild import line, I've owned several. I still own several.
Bridge belly's up and the neck caves in, and pretty soon you say, "What a dang mess I'm in."
This is my segment, not yours.
So what did you buy, Jared?
So I was looking at this 1974 Martin D2812 at Carter, and it just came on brand new today. Well, it just came on the website today, so I called and I said, I thought I'll go down there for lunch and then I'll go up to HQ and work there for the rest of the day. I called and they said, "Oh, we just sold it." I'm like, "But you just put it?" "Yeah, but we just sold it." I mean, they're like, stuff just goes really
Yeah,
fast.
so you got to call and you say, "Hold that guitar, I'm buying it."
Yeah, I called too late. And then I was like, I'm still going to win. So I text Dan at Lay's. He's like, "Yeah, we just got one in like 20 minutes ago. And do you want it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." He's like, "All right, cheers. We'll work something out."
Nice.
So,
Nice.
but that's a 7. He has a 76.
Can you help me out? I don't know. I have no idea what about a
Martin
Martin.
Dreadnought body.
Well, no. I
It-
mean, how much does it cost?
Those are anywhere. They're about $2,000 for one of those.
That's-
70s,
I was
12
thinking it was a
string.
lot more for some reason. I don't know anything about acoustic guitar.
The pre-1970 Martins, 12 or 6 string, are worth a lot more because they used Brazilian rosewood until around 1970. In the late 1970, in the late 1970, if I could spit it out, they stopped using Brazilian rosewood, and the price of those Martins,
They were way ahead of themselves there, or ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
they went down in price with the Indian rosewood thereafter. So.
And I think there's as much as, we could say the same about Fender and Gibson and as well as Martin. The 70s were definitely not the glory days.
Yeah, Martins were okay, but not, no more Brazilian. So
Yeah.
60s were much better. It's because everybody was trying to make guitars and get them out the door in the 70s.
How do you
That's
say
when-
Brazilian in Italian, Jared?
A Brazilian. No.
That was pretty tame.
Is it so the guitar's in pretty decent shape and or you have
They said, yeah, the top's got a little wear on it. I'm like, I don't care, man. I'm not really buying it for the looks. I just
Want to play it?
I just want to.
Yeah.
I just want to play
It's
it.
a guitar.
nice.
We'll work something out. As far as price,
Yeah, you don't have to disclose that. I was just wondering ballpark what those are.
I've been working with them for years, so
Yeah.
definitely not going to give retail.
That is a great story. Thank you, Jared.
How about you, Todd?
Well,
Yeah.
I had a gig last weekend, and I was really excited to put the new old flanger that I got from Japan. That arrived, and it's a Maxon FL9 flanger. I mentioned that it came last time. It sounds great. It's just kind of fun to have on the board because it's an old form factor, and I think those are really neat.
Hey, Todd.
Yes.
Earlier
Tony.
I said that I needed to get some new patch cables.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I looked at a couple of different options. I mean, back in the day, I used to make my own, cut off the old ends, pop on the new ends. But it
It's
was
just easier to do something different.
well, it is, and not only easy, convenient, efficient. all the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
You know what I did?
What?
As I said earlier, I went to Tour Gear Designs and ordered a bunch of cables.
New ones.
Smart thinking.
Brand spanking new, different lengths, different patterns. And I'm so glad that I did, because these things are, I mean, you know, I don't always have a permanent board. Like when we get test pedals in and things, I need something to do something very
Good
quick.
to have a bunch of extra ones so
Yeah.
you can.
And then now I can, you know, run them all together and do anything that I really want to do. But
Awesome.
I do have to say, I mean, you know, in addition to them being very affordable and well made, I was just shocked at how quickly I got them.
They are fast. They are fast.
You know what else I did?
What did you did?
I tried the Guitar Knobs discount,
And
it worked.
of course it
I
worked.
didn't even. I know you like to mention go to their website and stuff, but
Yeah.
at the very end, when you place your order, if you type in the Guitar Knobs,
Yeah,
you get
10%.
extra
Off your
10%
whole
off.
order.
Did you buy another cord in that case? Another patch cable?
I bought about $50 worth
Wow.
of cable.
Yeah. So everybody, hey, go to tourgeardesigns.com and you can either put the guitar knobs in the discount code, or you can just go to tourgeardesigns.com /discount /the guitar knobs, and it will automatically do that. Yes.
Cool stuff. It worked,
Indeed.
and I love them.
Thank you so much to Tour Gear Designs for sponsoring our 4 on the floor, Jared.
Let me get a little bit of that. What is?
1, 2, 3, 4 on the floor. All right, Connor Kelly of High Spirit Guitars. What is your 4 on the floor?
Well, usually I have an old Crybaby wah,
Awesome.
and like early 70s.
You managed to keep a one wah your whole time?
I still have it somewhere.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
you-
I actually have 2 of them.
Do you have to maintain it sometimes? Because I noticed with my old Crybabies, you get that, and it's a real loud. You have to clean the thing out or something. Do you ever mess with it?
Oh, the pot.
Yeah.
I don't remember cleaning the pot much. Usually I just adjust the throw on them so that
Mhm.
you know I get the most throw out of it, and it clicks at the right spot.
Yeah. I could just imagine Jared going, like, trying to disassemble a pot or just disassemble a pedal and putting it back together and then taking it back. Goes, it keeps on going.
Yes, it does, and it did. Like I thought I would fix it
Because that's what
And
a
it
wah
did,
pedal
and it did.
does. Ba-doop-a-doop.
It's just what it does, and I have to live with it. So I got smart, and I got Dean Morley, and now I have a Mutron.
Yeah, you got all the wahs. All right. What do you got for number 2 there, Connor?
Well, I also usually have a range master of some sort or booster pedal.
Ah,
I used to, at one point in time, before I was making guitars, I was messing around with pedals. So I would make a range master. I actually own one of the BSM ones, but I don't even know if they're still around. But usually like a range master that is not as not like the traditional one, but one that has more usually has a higher capacitance in front, so that it's a little thicker sounding, kind of like Black Sabbath sort of like, or Queen, that kind of sound. So I usually have some sort of boost pedal.
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Univox Super Fuzz.
Ooh.
And, it's really cool pedal. You can do a lot of things with it. It's like, actually, I played in this band, and I wasn't even playing guitar. I was the singer, and we had a keytar player. We didn't have a guitar player, but we had a keytar player. We plugged the keytar into a Super Fuzz, into a Supro Thunderbolt,
Ooh.
and it was like, sounded like a fire, like breathing dragon.
Wow.
It was
That's pretty awesome.
it was pretty intense. But it's got this cool switch that it's like a mid-range switch, or it's like a scooped mid switch.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get these two really cool sounds. So like the mid-range is kind of like if you listen to The Who, like Live at Leeds, that like album,
Mm-hmm.
all of his solos he did through that pedal with the mid switch. But if you switch it the other way, it's kind of like a really deep, like heavy, fuzzy sound. It's really cool. Anyways, I use that pedal all the time.
Now, is that one of the orange ones or the gray ones?
The one I had was an orange one.
Yes.
I believe the gray ones were pretty much the same. I think they just changed the color, but I don't know.
They were. I think those were the
earlier ones.
Yeah, they were the earlier ones. It just had sort of an industrial Univox like oval sticker on the top. But yeah, I mean the ones that everybody really they're kind of like super nuts over are the orange ones with the blue slab.
Right, that giant. It's just cool pedal because it's just huge. It's got this big stomp pad.
Yeah.
It takes up a quarter of your pedal board.
Yeah. Very cool. That. Very cool. And then numero 4.
Well, I don't know if this counts, but an Echoplex.
I like it.
We'll allow it.
Oh,
yeah,
of course.
I mean, it's on the floor, so sometimes. I mean, it depends on who you are. Well, I used to put it on the floor and just like slam chords into it and move the slider back and forth and get all these crazy spacey sounds,
Yeah.
So that's pretty fun.
No, you just hire somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I never could afford to hire somebody.
Man, those things are crazy expensive. Have you ever stepped on it or damaged it?
No. When I originally got it, it looked like it had been in a flood, the one I have. And I bought it for super cheap, and the motor didn't actually work. It was all goofed up. So I actually rebuilt the motor using a drill. I took a drill and put a new the bearings were screwed up. So I like drilled through the bearings, and then I just chopped off the drill and used that for the shaft. So it was exactly the same size as the bearings.
Huh.
Holy
And it works perfectly now. It's really awesome.
Nice.
So
how about
if you ever need to fix a Echoplex motor,
there you go.
How about
that's a hack.
How about as far as tape cartridges?
I haven't bought a cartridge in probably about 12 years. So,
oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
good old tape.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I haven't used it in a long time. I haven't played out really in probably at least 5 years.
Wow. Well, you're gonna have to change that at some point.
I gotta
Find that
well-
guitar guy and get back in business. All right. Well, thanks for sharing your 4 on the floor, Connor. That was a fun one. It's always great to hear what people are using, what people hold near and dear to their guitars. That's short for guitar hearts, and it didn't really work. It didn't work. I admit that. All right, we're gonna find out all about Connor Kelly and High Spirit Guitars right now. Connor, so you're out of San Diego area, right?
Right. Yeah.
We get like Portland, and we get Tennessee, or Nashville, and we get like Philadelphia. Like right now, and Boston. It seems like everybody's in one of those 4 spots.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot cheaper to live out there.
Yes, it is.
I don't know about Boston, but San Diego's not cheap.
No.
So it's hard to be a guitar maker in San Diego,
Yeah. I think there's a rap song about that.
Yeah.
So start with the name, which you probably have never told this story before. So how do you get to High Spirit Guitars?
Oh, that's I guess it's because when I was a child, I was really inspired by Native American art.
Mm-hmm.
And just crafts.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to call it something other than Connor Guitars or Kelly Guitars, or because I didn't really want it to represent me myself. I wanted
cool.
it to be something else. I don't know. I didn't want to focus on myself so much, but it was basically because when I was a child, like I was really influenced by Native American crafts, and I wanted to do something that was kind of about that, but not like directly. Not
so where it's like a gimmick or offensive. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So I came up with high spirit guitars. And also originally when I started making guitars, I wanted to name my guitars after spirit animals, which ended up turning into birds of prey or made up birds of prey.
Yeah.
So
it's a cool motif. It's and I really love the logo that you came up with. It's super clean. It looks cool, and I'm actually talking specifically about the actual the bird wings and the little arrow spare thing.
Oh yeah,
like on the website. Not necessarily the headstock one. I haven't gotten there yet, but so let's see. You just mentioned those things. You got the chicken hawk, and you got the flamingo hawk.
Yep.
And the red tail hawk, and the tomahawk, and the T-hawk, and the chicken. Well, we already said chicken hawk. So it's a good thing you didn't call it hawk guitars, because that would have been a stretch, and nobody would have figured out what you're going So you got some really cool stuff here, and if you are listening and have not been able to take a peek at what he's doing, I think quickly you'll realize, hey, there's some really neat subtleties that are highly appreciated by this team over here. Mm-hmm. As well as a lot of other people on Instagram who have also echoed that opinion. What were you doing before you made guitars?
Oh, well, I graduated college, and then I went back to college, and I was doing musicology. Figured out I wasn't really an academic. I kind of came to the point in my life where I knew what I was good at, and that was basically making things. I've always been making things since I was a kid, and so
Did you come to that realization yourself, or was everybody like, Connor, bro, what are you doing?
No. It was actually, I'm going to say it again. When I was in college, I was studying Detroit and in the 60s, and I realized how much the people there grew up like me in an industrial sort of culture, blue collar culture. And that's kind of when I realized that I was constantly surrounded by these things.
Did you grow up in San Diego?
Yeah.
Those two aren't typically associated, blue collar industrial San Diego. So I'm assuming you're going to tell us about that.
Yeah. So my dad, so San Diego used to be a aviation town. Mm-hmm. So my dad and most of my family worked for this company called General Dynamics.
Oh yeah.
Which was really big, and they did all kinds of stuff. Rockets, spacecraft. My dad worked on space shuttles and stuff. So, anyways, my dad was very he's a machinist type. He's very he's just he's a carpenter, he's a machinist, he's you name it. Anything that has to do with making something.
He's a craftsman.
He's a craftsman. And my mother is an artist. So I have two craftsmen.
Like what kind of like an artist? Like a sculptor or a painter? Or?
She's a painter. Yeah, she's a traditional oil painter.
Okay. I'm glad that you didn't say she was a sandwich artist at Subway or something like that. Sorry, I had to. I couldn't. We'll take any softballs we can get over here.
Jared would get too excited.
That's true.
You see what you created?
Yeah.
Todd, everybody thinks I live for food.
Well, I don't know that I created that, but anyways.
Yeah, created everybody. Well, I do like food.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it.
Anyways, back to Connor and his crafty family.
So I was always surrounded by people making things, and what's interesting though is my parents never kind of taught me anything or pushed it on me. I just kind of absorbed it, or I just had the desire to do it. So I studied art in college, and I was always making models and stuff when I was a kid. So it was really kind of second nature when I started doing it. It was just kind of it came very easily, easier than playing music actually.
Yeah.
So artistic process is something that's always interested me, because it's like everybody gets from A to B in a different manner, but it's really the end result. But what's really enjoyable for me is not so much the end result, it's how you get from A to B. It's like
That's cool.
Yeah, so that part is where I really get excited. So
now, when you're talking about the A to B, I'm assuming that because you're more craft oriented, you are liking the production end maybe more than the design. Is that a correct assumption, or are you going to prove me dead wrong right now?
Again.
No.
Again.
I just like figuring out ways of doing things. Basically, like the art is more in the manufacturing of the process than the actual product. And that's true with, I think, all art, really. You look at, like famous painters and stuff like that, and it's like there's a whole period of time in like the 40s where people were studying just processes and creating processes to make art instead of just focusing on the end product. So that's always just been an enjoyable thing for me, because it's more personal, I think. But I don't know.
Yeah. I can dig it.
So let's go back to some of your earliest builds. Did you start with original designs, or did you do like a lot of people start building, Strats and Tellies and?
Yeah, I started with Strats and Tellies mostly, mainly because I wanted to get the details down. Like learning how to do finish and stuff is just a pain. You can ask anybody. It's just probably the most tedious part. And I think a good way to do that is just doing something that you already know and then focusing on just getting the paint done, perfect.
Yeah.
And then you can move on to designing stuff and creating, a different design, because you're going to have to manufacture a way to create a neck the shape you want, and the size and the scale length and all those things. And so focusing on stuff that's already available, you can get a Telly template, or you can get a neck template for a Strat or whatever. It's easily accessible, and you're not having to just make all those things right off the bat. So it makes it it's a lot easier to make something that's already exists. But which allows you to focus on your other skills, like painting, fretwork, stuff like that, and really honing in what makes a guitar great. And then that's when once I got to that point, that's when I started designing things, because that was my ultimate goal. But I wanted to get the basic skills, really polished up first.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, on your original designs, I noticed some of the cool features would be the two-piece pick guards. And what really I kind of like are the tail pieces. Are those ones that you actually designed and built yourself?
Yeah, I designed two different tail pieces. I have a long version for the offset, and then a short one. The short one kind of came afterwards as I liked the first one I made so much, but I wanted to make something simpler. And what's funny is people keep asking me if they can buy my stuff, and I designed the short one as a solution to sell it. And then I decided to not sell it because I liked it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, never sell your stuff, man.
Yeah. So I wanted to make something that, was just specifically to be sold and not part of my guitars. But then I loved it so much. I was like, oh, I have to use this. This is amazing. So that's the problem with making something that you like,
Now, are the bridges something that you manufacture too, or are those?
I designed them and I manufactured some of the first ones. And then what I do is I design things in 3D design, like CAD programs, and then I'll have somebody make them for me. So I have a place. There's a few online places that you can get stuff made. There's one in New Jersey that I use all the time, and then they just ship me the parts. So I just do the designs, and then I try and find a good, efficient way of having those parts manufactured so that it's not like costing the guitar a lot of money, it doesn't jack up my price so much. And
right.
Part of the reason I did all this stuff was because the amount of cost that goes into buying parts for a guitar is like extremely high. So it's a big chunk of your profit. So if I design things, then I can make my prices more affordable for people.
Yeah. Well, I like the bridges. They remind me a little bit of like mastery bridges.
The small bridge. Can you open a bottle of suds on the small bridge on the small tailpiece?
I bet you could open one on both. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Were you thinking about that when you were designing those tailpieces?
No, but
genius. Pretty cool.
What's funny is when I did the NAMM show before
COVID.
COVID, and pretty much everybody who came up was like, dude, can I open my beer on this? I'm like, yeah, sure. I still need to drill one to the wall so I can open my beer at work.
This is hopefully people are heading over and checking out. If you're not familiar, checking out the Instagram in particular. I think there's a ton of great shots and great variations, which your guitars lend themselves to. I think probably a relatively high modification factor.
Yeah.
In so much as maybe not modification, but variables. That's what I meant to say. Pickups, pickup colors, pick guards, pick guard materials, different kinds of, it's sort of, I don't know. I feel like this is the type of guitar that you could really make it feel personal without compromising the design.
Tell us a little bit about the hot dog pickups.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I have 3 versions of the hot dog pickup, and the first version was pretty similar to a P90, but I also wanted to make it more solid, because a P90 usually just screws to the wood. It's kind of like, it's always just kind of teetering around.
Yes.
So this way would be a little bit more solid. And then I started designing different bobbins and things, and I've come up with a few different designs of the same pickup because I wanted to keep an aesthetic. So the pickups are pretty different. It's just the aesthetic stays the same.
So are they, you said there's 3 different versions. Are they still sort of P90-ish or Burns-ish or Strat-ish or?
So there's the hot dog, which is like very similar to a P90. There's the Chicago dog, which is
has relish and mustard and
yeah. There's the Chicago dog, which is lower output and a more focused sort of tone.
More of a Strat.
No, not quite. The Danger Dog is more like a Strat, but it actually reminds me of a Telecaster with just more of everything.
So the Chicago dog, then what's that more shaped like then, as far as in terms of the coil?
The coil is similar to a Dynasonic, actually.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't really sound. I don't know. I have to sit down and compare the two, but I don't think it really sounds like it. I just kind of based the coil off the Dynasonic coil, but it doesn't have the same magnets. So
No.
it sounds really good. It sounds great.
Yeah.
It's just it's its own thing, really. But it just was influenced by those Chicago pickups.
So no one else makes these. These are your pickups.
Yeah, that's right.
That's awesome.
And the lava dog. That's really cool.
Well, the Lava Dog's just the cover. Yeah. So I make these covers out of like you see all the cast stuff on YouTube.
Yes.
The gimmick, the wood gimmick, right? It's
Yeah.
everyone's pouring cast sparkles.
Yeah.
That's basically what they are, is cast. But they're actually machined out of blocks of cast.
It looks
resin.
like it's made out of agate.
Yeah, they look really cool.
So the process is probably pretty time consuming to make those, unless you have like some really good tooling that you could just go back and whip them out real quick, or what's that like?
Yeah, I usually make the Lava Dogs. I make like a set at a time, but all the other pickups, I usually do like I have a whole box of them already made, and I just usually sit and make I'll spend a whole day just making hot dogs.
You're making me hungry.
If you ever make it out to Columbus, we've got one of the best hot dog places in the entire universe. Frank's.
Oh yeah,
Rad.
Frank's hot dogs. Oh my gosh.
You know, I haven't
So
been
good.
there. I never went there yet. Out of all the years.
I'll have to make a Frank dog.
That would yeah.
How about an underdog?
Ooh.
Real low line.
Underwound. Yeah. Nice.
You know what's
Tony.
funny is Chris Swope actually already gave me that. He gave me that name. Which is pretty funny. I like it a lot. Yeah, I should make an underdog, but I gotta figure out what that underdog's gonna be.
Yeah. Okay, so we've beat the living tar out of your awesome pickups here. Let's talk about some of the nuances that you've got going on in the shapes. I think that is probably one of the things that when you're flipping through and you're seeing cool guitars on Instagram stuff, you flip through it and you're like, wait a minute, I think I just saw something, and then in the little shapes. I love the attention to detail that you've put into these. Can you talk to us about how you came to some of these final shapes?
Well, the first shape I came up with was the red tail, which is the offset.
Yeah.
And that was my learning tool for learning CAD. I actually spent like a year designing that guitar. And I wanted to make an offset because, of course, offsets are real popular. But I never liked any of the Fender offsets. And I know that's a lot of people don't want to hear that, but I think they're ugly.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
But so anyways, I wanted to make something really sleek and cool,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of inspired by Italian and Japanese guitars.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be better. I wanted to make a guitar that looked like those cool guitars, but actually played well, because there's so many of those cool guitars that just play like garbage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And so that was kind of my goal with that, is I wanted to make something that was kind of inspired by that. And then the other two were basically me sitting at home during COVID, bored to tears. And so I just started designing guitars, and it ended up being a blessing in disguise. I wanted to make something really simple to manufacture so I could keep the cost really low. And so that's why those two guitars were both really simple designs. And that's why they use the same pickguard and everything, because it cuts down on my time making them, so I can focus on, making them really nice, So the pickguards are the same, but the shapes are totally different, and they both seem to work really well with that same pickguard design.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
as in Germany, as they say, mission accompli.
Mission
I
accomplished.
didn't know they spoke French in Germany.
Anyways, I bet it's probably a pretty popular guitar, especially down where you live. That totally fits the vibe down there, you know.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. What's interesting though is that San Diego is like the worst place to try and sell guitars. It's, nobody buys guitars here, really. It seems like almost all the stuff I sell is mostly on the East Coast.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that doing really well on the East Coast.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, but
You
you
know.
would think.
But yeah.
Yeah. I think most of my sales are outside of California. Yep. Yeah.
You need to drive up to Camp Pendleton and sell it to the Marines.
Yeah.
They're always looking for guitars.
Really expensive ones too. Yeah. But actually, hey, that's a great point. Your guitars are a very approachable guitar price,
Absolutely.
especially for a handmade guitar. It's pretty great.
Well, as they say in Germany,
The price is the price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mission accomplished.
Yeah.
So my goal with this whole thing was I wanted to make guitars that musicians were going to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to sit in some boomer's closet, So
Okay, boomer.
yeah, pretty much, because a lot of these really high-end guitars, it's like me as a musician, I couldn't afford to buy a $3,500 guitar.
I can't afford to do that.
Yeah, so I wanted
Tony
something.
can. He gets them every week. Whatever.
Yeah,
1,300.
35. Is
3,500.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
most builders are about $3,500.
Sounds about right.
$3,000.
For petite.
So I was hoping that I could make something that younger people could afford, and something that was really like usable, playable. I want people to play them and enjoy them. So that's always been my goal, and that's one of the reasons I simplify my manufacturing process so much, is so that I can do that. If I spend a month building one guitar, then I'm not going to eat and nobody's going to play it. So basically, my goal was just to make something that was affordable for musicians.
And I think that's a noble goal, and really, I do think you've accomplished that. I mean, based on the pricing that you have here,
And getting something unique.
yeah,
Right. Yeah. And it's very personal. And which is cool. And I've noticed people are buying guitars just to fit their aesthetic.
Yes.
They'll contact me and they're like, "Can you make it this color with this and this and this?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Just give me this much time and give me a down payment, and we'll go from there."
Yeah.
that's good.
I mean, you should get a full payment at these fantastic prices. Really. I mean.
Oh no, I mean just the to
up
get
front.
yeah.
So, what's a guitar to take for you to turn around?
Right now I do about 4 guitars a month.
That's pretty good.
Not bad.
Yeah. So
And you're painting them all?
Yeah, I do
Wow.
everything pretty much except for manufacture the hardware. So I just have kind of an assembly line process. Right now I'm in the process of painting about 12 guitars for the next, 3 or 4 months.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done for Christmas because people,
Santa needs guitars, man.
yeah. I've been selling tons of stuff through the Music Emporium in Lexington.
Awesome.
So they're really keeping me very busy. So if you're looking for a guitar, they might have one.
You moved to Nashville.
Yeah. I'm actually looking to move possibly out of San Diego, just because I need a shop, like my own shop
that you
space
can
right
afford.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
have shops in Nashville.
now. Yeah.
Nashville's
true.
as expensive or more than San Diego.
I don't
Oh
know.
my gosh. Come to Ohio.
I don't know about that, but it's probably Ohio.
Yeah, that's where we are, and it's pretty great out here. Hey, speaking of not Ohio at all, but the manufacturing of what you're doing, you're very much akin to. Are you familiar with cow brand design?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I am.
You guys are like right in the same bathtub there. I
Oh,
know that's a
okay.
weird thing. I don't know why I said that. You're in the same boat.
Okay.
Maybe
That's right.
maybe it's made out of a bathtub. I don't know. But it's
No.
I'm looking at that and you were telling me how you're making all this stuff. I was like, man, this sounds just like cow brand. In the way that you have both decided where you're going to put your creative efforts and your signatures and your nuances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's very admirable. Very cool.
In the same bathtub.
All right. Edit that from your minds. I'm really sorry for that visual. I did not mean that.
So, do you have any other new designs coming out that you're thinking of? You're working on the drafting table?
Right now, I'm just working on getting a bass. I get about at least one email a month about a bass. And so I'm working on a short scale bass that is basically the Tomahawk or the Flamingo Hawk, but in a short scale bass. So it'd be kind of like a Mustang bass or something like that.
Like an Evo.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. Everyone's kind of excited about that. So
Cool, man.
yeah.
Right on. Well, Connor, it has been a blast hearing all about your awesome guitars, the high spirit guitars, and that white one with the black pickguard looks pretty tight. You guys need to go over and get one of these. Just you're kind of not gonna walk away from not wanting one. And Christmas is coming up, so get your orders in, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do that. We are going to row our own bathtub over to Jared's house.
Rub-a-dub-dub.
Yay! Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our favorite game on the show called Would You Rather?
And it's our only game.
It's our favorite only game.
That's correct. So you're walking down the street, and a sketchy guy in a long trench coat jumps out of the alley. Oh, no! He opens his trench coat, and in one hand he has Les Paul's iconic number one, 1951-ish Les Paul Gold Top, the one that just sold for almost $1 million. And in the other hand, he has Johnny Ramone's 1965 Mosrite Ventures Mark G.
Which also sold for just about $1 million.
Yes.
That's correct. So
this creep's got $2 million worth of his guitars under his nasty trench coat.
Yep.
Oh my!
So they almost sold for $1 million, like we said, for the 5th time. So you're a little suspicious. Anyhow, which guitar would you buy for $100 if you were able to buy one of those guitars off the creepy guy in the trench coat for $100? Which one would it be? Duh.
So what you're saying?
Maybe not so much. Duh.
So what you're saying? There's Les Paul's number one, and that was actually the first guitar. It's a gold top that he approved,
and that's got cream soap. Cream, not P90s?
Well, it's had many different pickups. It probably originally would have had P90s in it, but he monkeyed around with it.
Everything.
Yeah, he did a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so the pickup could slide up and down so we can find the right spot to put the pickup in.
Yep. And that was, I think that one sold for $930,000 just a couple of days ago.
It's all relative.
Yeah, I mean, that's lunch around here.
Yeah.
Or there's Johnny Ramone's beat up old Mosrite Mark II.
Yep.
That is, that's
iconic.
It's an iconic. Both of these are iconic instruments.
Who's Johnny Ramone?
There was this guitar player in the band called the Ramones.
Oh yeah. Right. Okay. I'm sorry. Go on.
Hey, did you know how the Ramones
They played
got their
with
name?
Kansas.
Yeah, they opened for Kansas.
Oh yeah,
a lot.
that's right.
Do you know how the Ramones got their name?
Tell us, Tony.
From Paul McCartney. Because Paul Ramone was his stage name in the early days.
How about that?
That's how the Ramones got the name.
I love that. A little bit of trivia from
Little
Know It All
trivia.
Tony.
And
And I
that
mean
one-
that in the kindest of ways, because you
Yes.
do know crap. Oh my gosh, you know so much stuff.
So that one sold a couple of weeks ago for like 937,000.
970.
No, 937. Well, maybe
937.
with the auction fees and
Yeah,
everything,
okay.
it was
All right.
almost $1 million.
Yeah.
Both of these almost $1 million.
Yeah.
Very
How
iconic.
did this sketchy guy get this stuff in a dirty old
That's a-
nasty trench coat?
Very good question. More importantly, what is the guy who had those doing in that dirty old alley? So we need to find out what Tony wants to do with this. Would you rather? Segue out of this.
I think he's decomposing.
Yeah, anyways.
But anyhow, you know, I love Les Paul. He was, you know, obviously a groundbreaker. But every time I see that Mosrite Mark II that Johnny Ramone played and beat the crap out of, I mean, I just was looking at before the show at some of the photos from the auction. And I mean, this thing is just
Hammered.
It is, yeah. It lived, it was
Got the original strap on it.
It was ridden hard and put away wet.
Yep.
And I think, I mean, out of those two, I'm going with the Ramones guitar.
All right. All right. Jared?
I'll probably also go with the Ramones guitar
What?
because
no, you're
whoever.
not. You're lying sack.
No, because I can pretty much bet that if you know where I work, if we wanted to see that guitar, it would make its way to where I work.
That's not.
So I would
But-
able to get that to see that too.
Yeah, but you get to own it.
For $100.
Ramones.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Shocking.
Yeah, I'll see the other one.
All right.
If I'll never see the Ramones guitar if I pass that up.
Yeah, but you're not.
I'll never see it
You
again.
get to walk away with it. It's not. He's not going to put it back in his trench coat and run off.
No, I mean,
All right.
Yeah.
But, okay. You're on Tony Island. Connor, what are you doing?
Oh, I would probably get the Ramones guitar.
Well, and Baby Makes Four.
Ah,
Yeah.
I've got
Tony's got a
all
full
rooms
house.
are filled on the island.
Yeah. I mean, that's a no-brainer for me. It's
Yeah.
absolutely a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I am more a student of music than I am of historic guitars, and,
Okay.
and
You know,
for that,
the-
it makes me.
nobody knew of that Les Paul being what it was until it actually surfaced a month ago.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Exactly. So it is not famous. It's now famous, but not nearly as famous as the Ramon guitar.
Yeah.
So,
It's
yeah.
$1 million worth famous.
yep.
Yes. All right, that was a good one. Tony cooked that one up in his own mind all by himself.
I did it by myself.
We need to say thank you to a handful of people.
Yes, Todd, we do.
And then we're going to say thank you and bid Connor, as they say in South America, adieu. Okay.
to you and you and you.
Go ahead.
You know, Todd, at this point of the show, there's a very special group of people that we like to thank.
Right.
These are our executive producers. Now, you might be wondering what's an executive producer. More importantly, how can I, as a mere mortal, become one?
Yeah.
It's quite easy. You go over to patreon.com/the guitar knobs. Check out a couple different levels in which you can participate. Become a sponsor of this very podcast. Each level comes with a great bevy of thank you gifts, including things like barefoot buttons and stickers and picks and T-shirts and keychains and flashlights and what else, Todd?
But lots of things.
Lots. But as an executive producer, you get all the great stuff. I'm not telling any lies here. You get all the great stuff. But there's one thing more. Mm-hmm. Jared, what's that?
You get to have your name read on the thing.
Your name read on the thing, in addition to being on my iPhone. So special thanks to these executive producers. Big breath in. Tom Brazen, Darren Gregory, Doug Christ, Ken Sayers, Michael Senchuk, Stefan Lamb, Anthony Lathrop, John Anglin, John Esterle, Justin Jones, James White, Matt Hart, Bill Gola guitars, Richard Kendall, Tyke Harmon, John Jackson, Jason Roush, Gary Cooper, Mark Garton, Elad Mizrahi, Micah D, Trevor Gunberg, Rick Calhoun, Anthony Gemolero, John Halverson, and Drew Lopez.
Yes, not Andrew Lopez, but Drew Lopez.
Andrew Lopez. Andrew.
Or Drew Lopez also.
Maybe his name might be Andrew.
Maybe.
And he goes by Drew.
Yes.
But stop interrupting me, Todd,
Sorry.
because there's another very special group of people that we have to thank.
Who are they?
There are grand poobahs.
Yes.
So, you take an executive producer, you nudge him up 2 floors to the penthouse suite, you got yourself grand poobahs. Mm-hmm. So these very special cats get to wear a fez while listening to the podcast. Mm-hmm. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to thank these grand poobahs. Jonathan Jerusik, Corey Nigro, David Kaminga, Science of Sound, Cody Foster, Sean S. Tommy Manasco, Adam Johnson, Steve Keys, Tim Nowak, Tyler Rhines, James Pennington, LSJ Music Company, John Williams, Johnny Morales, Mel Sanders, Bob Crouch, Sam Jett, Michio Murakishi, Martin Cliff, Hex Matos, Michael Van Zant, Andrew DeHaan. We've got an upgrade this week.
Hey-o.
Who is it?
Upgrade, Brian Robison.
Yeah.
He went from a mere executive producer to the great realm of Grand Poobahs.
Enjoy your Orange Crush.
Oh, wait, there's one more.
Uh-huh.
We have one of our boomerangs.
Yes.
You know what that means?
That means somebody who's like, hey, I got to take a break, but I'm back.
And he's back in a big way. Mm-hmm. John Daly.
Right on.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Connor, it has been great fun, at least for us. Having you on the show. You're a delight to talk to, and you're making some outstanding
Awesome
guitars.
stuff, man.
Yes.
Good job.
Where can people go to get one of your awesome things?
The Music Emporium in Lexington, or Moe's Guitars in La Mesa, or you can contact me directly through highspiritlutheria@gmail.com.
Right. And if you can't remember any of that, just go to High Spirit Guitar on the internet.com, or go to Instagram and send them a DM and say, man, I'm blinded by awesomeness. I just need a way to contact you. Anthony?
Yeah. Well, why don't you just go over to pickguardian.com, check out some of the stuff I have available for buying. But you know what? I do a lot of custom work, and probably is best just shoot me an email. Let me know what you need, what you're thinking. I might have some tips for you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Jared?
Get a hold of me through the Guitar Knob social medias, and if you have any questions about pickups or stuff like that, I would be more than happy to answer. Send me your would you rathers, please.
Yes. And Jared's busy working on his own Instagram to help accommodate most of this. So you can send me an email, todd@theguitarknobs.com. You can also DM me, as Jared just said, at Guitar Knobs. Send any of us or all of us a question or comment. We'd love to hear from you. Get your would you rathers in. Connor, we're going to say thank you very much.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Everybody have a fantastic guitar weekend. Subscribe.
Arg.
Yeah,
the cobbler's children have no shoes.
No, that's not it.
Oh.
Okay. Anyways.
That pickup guy,
Yeah.
from Chicago, yeah. All right.
Wait a minute.
Sure.
Wait. Look at this.
Huh?
Look at what I just found.
It's got a crispy dog.
Jared Brandon.
That's so Jared.
What kind of pizza did you eat?
Just a normal one.
You have 1.5 jobs. 2. No, you've got 3 jobs now.
No, I'm burping up pizza.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.